So the question is how to make a startup company. Well, the first thing we want to talk about is what is a company. Now, if you didn't see my video where I define what is a startup, you might want to click that video or go look through my timeline if it's not readily available to you and find out what is a startup. But how to make a startup company. First thing we have to say is, what is a company? Now, a company is going to be a commercial business. I always tell people that a company starts with the words of CO, or the letter CO, or the word CO, co, and that means more than one. So first and foremost, a company has to be more than one person. A company has to have more than one client. So for it to be a company, we have to have more than one person operating it, more than one client making purchases, because a company is a commercial business. And business is going to refer to you being busy or you making sales. So if you are making sales, then you can become busy. If you become busy, you can hire staff. If you can hire staff, you won't be alone. So now you have a company and clientele, or you have staff and you have partners and team and clientele. So it's more than one person helping to make money together and solve problems for the consumer. That's how I can express that. So moving from what is a company, the first thing we have to understand, I talked about sales, I talked about those things, but how do we get to that position? A lot of times people want to build a company by saying, I'm going to get logos, I'm going to get, all kind of identifiable paraphernalia for my business, whether it's a some kind of image, some kind of website, some kind of social media. Those are not the ways to build a company. The way you want to build a company, you want to get sales. Sales, 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 sales. Whatever you do, if you can't make things sell, then there's no need to build a company. Sales revenue, you want to be able to take some kind of product or some kind of service and actually put it on the market or put it out there and actually sell it. If you cannot create sales, then we don't need to create marketing and advertisement and branding processes and getting job descriptions and duties and hiring and going out for funding, because the business revolves around sales. Now, somebody said, well, can you do sales without marketing? Yes and no. It takes marketing, but you have to have a sales process to complete the sale. So the first and most important part is to building a company is actually generating revenue. If you think about it, you have to have predictable sales as well as predictable sales growth. So meaning this year, 2018, if we want to say how much money we're going to make for the month of July, hey, look, we estimate we're going to make $40,000 for the month of July. But by this time, 2019, July, we want to be able to make $400,000. So that means we have to have predictability of what we're going to hit every month in sales, as well as we have to have a future forecast with some kind of growth, because if we don't continue to grow, then we'll start to shrink. It's hard to hold steady, but if we don't continue to grow, more than likely we will start to shrink. So there's a big concept of, well, we need to get funding. We need to go and get funded. Funding. Well, funding will help you get a staff, but all staff members don't help you get sales. That's something that you really have to be conscious about. So as we get funded, we may can get somebody who can code. We may can get somebody who can develop a website, somebody who understands how to do graphic design, somebody else who understands how to do PR, and all of these things. They may be all the other added components to building a great company, but they do not help build the sales. And without the sales, if you're just spewing off awareness, brand marketing, if we're just spewing off opportunities to be seen and be heard, if we're hiring front desk people and secretaries and all these people, well, then we dwindle down all of the funding, and we do not have a mechanism that can replace the funding outside of going get more funding. So if you really want to build a company, people will give you more funding if you have what? Sales. If you have traction, if you have sales, you can show the sales to be, this is what we're doing at the rate that we're growing. This is how long we've been in. This is how much money we raised, but this is how much money we've generated in sales. And this is the growth pattern we have. And they'll start to bring you more money. But if you're not making any sales, it's going to be hard to continuously get more money to feed or to fund this idea or this vision that you have that is not profitable. How to make a startup company. It's not about doing LLC paperwork. It's not about doing branding. It's not about getting logos. It's not about creating a whole list of identifiable things to represent your company, your swag bags and things like that. That is not creating a company. You're not a company because you have imagery. You're a company because you are able to have a commercial business. Business being busyness, business being sales, company, more than one, having founders, a team, as well as or maybe employees, as well as clientele. Those two things together help you create the sales. Those sales help you become a company. Product development is not necessarily, oh, well, we've created a product, so we have to be a company because we have an app, or because we have some kind of new moisturizer, or we have some kind of new chemical product we created. Those things don't necessarily make you a company because you have a product. A product is not a company. The company is the intellectual aspects that are behind the product. The company is everything that is rocking and rolling, that's intangible, that you cannot see. What is a company? A company is a commercial business that sells shit. So first step, the founder has to find a solution to a known problem. That's the very first thing to building your company. Second thing is, or to making a company. Second thing is the founder sells the solution, or they take pre-orders for when they create the solution to sell to the people. That's going to be the very next thing. You're either selling it or you're selling pre-orders to verify or to validate that people will actually buy the product. They won't buy the product. If nobody buys the product, then what? We're not a company. We're not a business because we don't have anything of value that people would trade for money. The third thing you want to do is create a repeatable business model, something that has predictability, scalability, and you're able to repeat the actions over and over and over to bring consistency. Anything that's inconsistent is truly not a business, because it's a business is repetition and duplicity. It can be produced over and over and traded for value. The fourth thing is the founder builds a team to execute on the business model that they have designed, that they have tested and proven. This is how we get, grow, and keep our customers. This is exactly the customer segment that we want. This is the value proposition or the benefits that they have or that they will purchase. This is the revenue the revenue streams that we can sell to them. This is what is actually coming in. These is where our pre-orders are coming. This is how we get the product to the customer. We've tested this model over and over and over. We know our partners and activities. And once they have a reputable or a repeatable business model, then they are able to attack that with their team to actually execute what they have now come to discover is the business or the company. The company doesn't get built until you can verify that this shit will sell. If you can't verify that it will sell, then it's actually just a theory, it's just a hobby, it's just an idea. Not until we are able to start seeing revenue coming in that I would suggest that we actually say that we want to build a company. First thing we want to build is the product. The second thing we want to, well, let's say this, I'll take it back. First thing we want to do is work with the idea or the concepts. Second thing is we want to make sure that it actually fits that market. And the third thing is we want to build it after people will agree to purchase it. Once they agree to purchase it, then we want to actually bring it to the market in those stage processes. But if you want more, again, I hope I didn't confuse anybody, because I'm trying to give you a class worth of material in a short video. And I just feel like it's just too hard for me to do that. So I want to say this, 4-stage startup guide. It is a video and a document that we sell on our website at cost. It's very, very low and affordable, but invest in yourself. If you want to build a multi-million-dollar company, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your craft, and you have to invest in what you're doing. Go to the website that's listed below. Click the link. It'll be down here or somewhere on the screen. You click the link, and that will take you to the actual site so you can make the purchase and invest in yourself. It is a short educational course that we created, maybe 45 minutes, but it will give you the structure, and it'll give you the questions that you need to ask yourself in each stage to verify. So if you're really trying to build your startup, we build the first half before we get to the company development. So if you haven't validated your business model, if you haven't proven that there's pre-orders, and let me say this in closing, not from your cousin, Not from your aunties and uncles, not from your homeboys, the people that want to support you. You make sure the people that is making purchases are people who actually suffer from the problem that you're solving. And that is the person who's going to be loyal. That is going to be the clientele we're trying to build. Once we can establish that, then we have a business that's worth investing money, time, and energy into. So again, rewind this video, listen to this information that I'm saying, go to the website, get the 4-stage startup guide. That is going to be one of the best cheat sheet guides, startup guides, short lesson that I can teach you that you can progress at the most affordable rate for anybody who's serious about entrepreneurship. I made it that way so that way you will not have an excuse to stop your greatness. Again, my name is Cash Parrish. I can be found at cashparrish.education. Y'all stay cool, be blessed, peace.